Hey y'all, welcome back. Let's talk about choosing a homeschool curriculum for your children, especially if you have multiple children like mine. You may or may not know that there are actually different styles of homeschooling. Like, not all homeschools are treated the same. You have your traditional, homeschoolers with the curriculum and the bookwork. You have your more eclectic, you have your Charlotte Mason. There's all different styles out there, and you can go and research them all. But what matters most is that you are finding a curriculum that is going to suit your child's learning style. So in our case, I am a very type A traditional type homeschool mom. That's just how my brain works. So I naturally gravitate towards the traditional book style curriculum. However, I have to get out of that mindset because it's not about what I need. It is about what my children need. And I will tell you, for my middle child specifically, I have 4 daughters. My second daughter, she is not a traditional book style type of learner. She is kinesthetic, she is hands-on. She very much benefits from more of like a Charlotte Mason style, flexible homeschooling style. And so me as homeschool mom, I have to be able to tailor my teaching to fit her learning style. Now, back in the classroom when I was a teacher, it was very difficult to do this when you have 30 kids and you're trying to gear your lessons towards all of the different learning styles with all of them. But when you're homeschooling, and even when you have 4 kids like me, it is very much doable. Now, does that mean that I'm going to go out and spend a whole bunch of money on separate curriculums for all my children? Absolutely not. We're going to use one homeschool curriculum because I'm not going to go spend the money on all these different kinds. I'm just going to modify whatever curriculum I'm using to match their learning style. So for example, we do Christian-led education for our main math and language arts. That's like our core curriculum. And my middle daughter, who doesn't really like that style of learning, yes, she does sit down and she does it with us. But for us, for example, when we're doing our sight word flashcards, instead of just sitting there and flashing the flashcard to her, I've got her up, I've got her moving. We flash the card. If she gets it correct, she takes a step forward. We turn it into games, right? So I'm taking that traditional book style Christian-led education curriculum and I'm just modifying it to match her learning style. Now, my oldest daughter, she is very much like me, type A, book style, traditional type of learner. And we are using a Charlotte Mason style curriculum, the 5 in a row homeschool curriculum, which doesn't quite match her learning style. But I can modify that to make it more book style type A. She has a journal. We're writing vocabulary words with definitions. She enjoys that. And I'm able to modify it to match her learning style. So one of the questions that I get asked all the time is, what's the best curriculum for a child with ADHD or autism or a type A learner or a classical learner, whatever it might be? And the truth is, it doesn't matter what curriculum you use. I know that's a shock to hear, right? It really doesn't matter because you are the parent, you're the teacher, you're in charge, and you could look at a lesson in a curriculum and just use that as the bones, right? As your structure, use that as a guide, and then implement your own changes and things to match your child's learning style. If you've got a kid with ADHD who needs to be up and moving and can't sit still and do this long bookwork lesson, then break it up into pieces. Get him up, get him moving, look at the lesson for the day, and then think of the ways that you could change that lesson. Keep the structure, right? Keep the content, whatever they're learning for that day, but you can, Google games to play for double-digit addition or whatever the concept might be for that day, and that's going to help you tailor the lesson for your learner. Now, if this feels overwhelming, if this feels like a lot, like, oh my gosh, I got to look at the lesson, now I've got to change it, I got to figure out all these things. Yes, it is going to feel like a lot at first. I will tell you that ChatGPT has been a godsend for us. Literally open up ChatGPT and say, this is the lesson we're doing today. How can I modify this for my kiddo with ADHD or whatever type of learner you might have? And ChatGPT will come out with all these different things that you can just write down into a journal. You could print it out right from your ChatGPT screen and just, use that as your curriculum guide for the day. As a matter of fact, you can use ChatGPT to make your own curriculum. It will print out worksheets and stuff for you for whatever the concept is that your kid needs to learn that day or a concept that they're struggling with. So that's my personal recommendation, using an AI as a tool to help you kind of better schedule and better organize yourself when you have different types of learners. Now, in a perfect world, we would have it to where all of our kids are the exact same type of learner and you can do, a one-size-fits-all type lesson. And that is what the school system is expecting, right? That us teachers can take this one lesson and teach it to 30 different children and they're all going to understand the lesson the same way. We know that's not realistic, right? So it is 100% necessary for us to take whatever curriculum you've purchased or whatever you are piecing together yourself and change it for your child. Like, do not just go with the standard curriculum that you've purchased, unless it's working for your kid, but modify those lessons, right? If you've got a kid with dyslexia who really struggles, or dysgraphia, struggles with putting their ideas onto paper, there are so many different ways you could modify that for your child as well. Maybe they're going to verbally give you their answers instead of writing it down. Now, does that mean that you can have it to where your kid is never doing writing because you're modifying it a little too much? No, of course, we need to have them practice writing. But if you've got, tears at the table because they're having to write a simple sentence, just modify it. Keep in mind too that online curriculums are something that you can either use as a supplement where you're just kind of using it as like a little add-on, or you can have that as your full curriculum. Maybe they enjoy the graphics, they like being able to work independently, not having mom like right by their side during the lesson. Online curriculums might be the way to go. Sometimes kids that have ADHD, you would think an online curriculum would be enough to stimulate their little brains, but sometimes it can be a little too overstimulating. So again, modifying it. Maybe we're only going to use an online curriculum for science, but we're going to do book style curriculum for the other subjects. Maybe you don't want to use a curriculum at all. Maybe you are more of the unschooling type. If you're in a state that allows unschooling to where you're not actually using a curriculum necessarily, you're kind of piecing together your day, your child's interests are guiding, you're doing a lot of unit studies, that kind of thing. If you're in a state that allows that and your child thrives on that type of learning, that might be a route to look into as well. So all this to say that you are in charge, you are the parent, you are making these decisions, and take pride in that, right? Take ownership in that. You get to research these curriculums if you're choosing to use a curriculum at all. You get to decide how you're going to change the lesson to meet your child's needs best. And that is the beauty of homeschooling, being able to modify it to match our kids' needs instead of just that one size fits all, here's the one lesson that we're teaching to 30 kids and you all have to understand it the exact same way. Let me know in the comments what your experience is with modifying curriculums, things that you've added, taken away. Are you using a curriculum at all? Have you tried the unschooling route? And I will see you all next time.